Big Tyser, good job. I've been watching your videos lately. I think that yeah, you bring up some really good points. I'm an independent. I'm not necessarily for or against Barack Obama or any other candidate for that matter. But I think the Puma movement is good. You know, Americans should not have people telling them what political party to belong to or uh, or which candidates to support. My thing is you should be able to vote for anyone for the president of the United States, whether they're female or male. The thing is, I want to recommend a book. It was a book written by E. Franklin Frazier. It's called The Black Bourgeoisie. And basically, in The Black Bourgeoisie, E. Franklin Frazier talks about how he's referring to about African Americans, but the bourgeoisie, I guess, I'm sure you all probably know what that means, and it's an elite group that has control over a lower segment of society. The thing is that Americans, especially for African Americans, they need to make the decision. Are you going to be led by a? Not saying Barack Obama is a part of a bourgeoisie, you know, because I don't know enough about Senator Obama to know whether or not he is some people call him elitist. I don't know, but the fact of the matter is, I think that every American, but in particular African Americans, should read E. Franklin Frazier's book, Black Bourgeoisie, before they decide who they want to be their leaders. The next thing is, the 20th century has passed. It's the idea that we're going to have presidential and even congressional campaigns where we attack the sitting congressperson or the sitting president. That needs to go away. You know, it's not the thing is, it's great to know everything that President George W. Bush did while he was in office, and this even goes for New York State. You know, whether Senator Clinton, you know, runs for governor or someone runs against her for the Senate, it shouldn't be about, you know, this is what Hillary Clinton did or this is what George W. Bush did. That needs to go away. 21st century politics needs to be based on what are people actually going to do. How are we actually going to get away from this what I call wait and see. You know, the wait and see generation has given us Social Security failures, the failed Social Security system that was created by German Chancellor Otto von Bismarck in I believe it was 1889. You have to go on the socialsecurity.gov website to see. But, you know, what are we going to do to move Americans away from this wait and see generation? You know, is our generation going to be wait and see like the previous generation that has given us HUD? HUD is from the HUD, you know, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Social Security, you name it. All this stuff is all from the wait and see generation. You know, we need, the thing is, our presidential candidates need to come out and show what they've actually done, how the policies that they're proposing actually worked in their state where they are from. You know, and because the thing is, if a policy hasn't worked in your state, whether it's Arizona or Illinois or for Senator Clinton, if she's still in the race, New York, then what makes us think that what's right for New York is right for Tennessee? You know, we learned in the 1990s that universal health care doesn't work. We learned that with the TennCare crisis, or the TennCare system in Tennessee. The Tennessee Americans, they're still paying for the TennCare failure. And the fact of the matter is, the thing is, you need to prove how your plans and systems have actually worked where you are from. Because we Americans do not need a president that is bringing problems from another state to Washington, D.C. We don't need that. And the thing is, it's not a referendum on George W. Bush. We know what George W. Bush has done. We can just watch CNN and Fox News to find out. You know, the thing is, we need to have honest and open debate. And Big Tyson, you're absolutely right, because Social Security is a problem, and none of the candidates have adequately addressed Social Security. Social Security is tied to health care, welfare, international welfare, which we don't hear anything about. Yeah, international welfare does exist in America, and disability. All right, that's the entire Social Security system. The system is inadequate. It does not address African American, you know, people with low life expectancy rates, you know, are basically disenfranchised from the Social Security system. So yes, it does need to be reformed. And the last thing on George W. Bush, yeah, George W. Bush has to take responsibility for what happens in Iraq. You know, that may have been one of his blunders. You know, George W. Bush has to take responsibility for post-Hurricane Katrina recovery. But I'll tell you this, as an African American, George W. Bush sent two U.S. combat divisions into Liberia to overthrow Charles Taylor. The reason why Liberia is important to me is because free African American slaves founded Liberia in the 1840s, okay? And basically, Liberia supported the United States from World War II all the way up to present, to include the Cold War. And what did Liberia get in return for that? They got no NAFTA. They didn't get any, they got no recognitions in return. Okay, that's the reason why they've had 2 civil wars. They have a GDP of $1 billion, and I think it's a deficit. I have to research it further, but I believe it's a deficit of almost $3 billion. The thing is, the presidential candidates need to have tough questions. We all can have a difference in opinion, and we should debate. And the Puma movement is important because we do need a third major political party in this nation. Big Tyser, good job. Take care.